Hello everybody, welcome to Adonics. Now in this session we will try to check all the components of Spring Boot application. I will run it from the command prompt. We will check the browser version. We will create a package and executable jar. So here we will be doing totally hands-on coding to understand, implement, test a Spring Boot application. First, let us see what the components that we are having. We will start with the pom.xml file because this is the most important file which you need to understand to create your own project. First, you check there is a project artifact ID here in this section. This is quite mechanical where you give the artifact ID as a unique identifier for the Maven build. Then some snapshot for creating the name of the jar files. When we create a jar file, it will be having this particular uh, text or content attached with the jar file. Then we have a parent section which mentions the Spring Boot. Then it mentions artifact ID as Spring Boot starter parent. This is a very important part because it identifies that it is a Spring Boot project with a starter package that is known as Spring Boot starter part. Then it will have a release 1.5.4, or if you have a different release, you can mention that. Now, just below this thing, we will be having other dependencies. This is a particular dependency which, if you want to create a web-based application, you need to have Spring Boot starter web. That's why we have mentioned that it is a Spring Boot framework group ID and it is also a web-based application. So we have mentioned Spring Boot starter web. Then this particular section build, which we have just put below the dependency section, if we want to make a particular jar file, executable jar file, we have used a plugin, Maven plugin, and this particular build section will help us to build an executable jar file. Now let's see what we have in the sample application. Just check, we have a main method where we have a home method name where we give some comment, and below that home we have a main method as we write in a standalone application. This is very important because all Spring Boot application will be having this particular main method which will run the particular class which we have defined here. So this Spring application .run is the very important command where you mention the class file and the arguments if you have anything. So that's it to run the application. Now we have the project structure where we have a project name as Spring Boot. We have the source files. As for example, we have created only source file example.java. We have a project object model, the build file pom.xml. We have a target where we will be creating the jar files, rather the executable jar files. So let's check one by one how we can check the dependencies, how we can build the project, and how we can run it. First, we will check the dependencies. This is the comment I have mentioned earlier also to check the dependencies. This is just for your reference. Type nbn dependency :3 and then press enter. It will show the scan the projects. This is the snapshot name, my project 0.0.1.snapshot. Then it will show you all the dependencies that this particular project has. And at the end of the dependency detection, it will show you a message build successful. This is very important because it considers everything as a build. It will give you a total time. It will give you a final finish state. It will give you the final memory. So this is very important. Now, once I have all the file, and please remember, you need to run all these commands from the place where you have created the project. As I have said, I have created the project within workspace, program files. Then you can have this, I have my workspace on the D directory. This is the workspace. This is the Spring Boot folder where I have created all the files. So you have to follow this particular path before you start running any command. I have just gone to this path and run the dependency command, because the Spring or the Maven need to understand where your project resides so that it can scan those projects, it can identify the dependencies. Now let's build it. For this building this project, we need to have this command called Maven Spring Boot run. We want to run this project. Click enter. Just wait for some time. It will build the entire project. It will scan the project. It will have all the dependencies. It will have this particular Spring Boot message, which will help you to understand that your program is running perfectly. Then at the end of the command, you have got one message: started example in after seconds. JVM running for this particular version. Now, how can I check this time? You can check this by having two things. One is a command prompt, where you can see the identifiers that we have mentioned. And now to run this particular application from your browser, go to the browser, type localhost :8080 and press enter. It will show you the message here: welcome to Advanix, let's explore Spring Boot. So it automatically starts the Tomcat web server, which comes as an inbuilt thing, and it shows you the message on the browser. So you can see how easy it is to build a project, how easy it is to make a web-based application by creating a simple main method and putting the class name under this particular method. It will run the program, it will build the program, it will do everything for you. Just remember, once you run this program, you need to terminate this session. For terminating, please enter Ctrl and C. It will show you terminate the batch job. You just press Y. Now it's terminated successfully. If you want to do any changes, do the changes here. Welcome to Advanix. Let me change the string once more. Learn advanced Spring. Now I'm saving this thing. Learn advanced Spring Boot. I will try to install this project. There is another command which I have mentioned. This particular command, Maven clean install. It will clean everything. It will extract all the dependencies, and it will build your project once again, so that the changes that you have done, that is implemented successfully, and that is reflected when you run the program. Just wait for a second. It will again check everything. It will again check the compilation file, and the build will successful within a few minutes. Just check this particular section, build successful. That means whatever changes you have made on these files, that has been taken care of. Now you need to run it. Just again run the same command, ambient Spring Boot run, press enter. It will scan the project workspace, where it will find a single project. If you have multiple projects into your workspace, you can have all the projects scanned by Maven, and it will deploy it. Now at this end of the command prompt, you can see again the question here, the started example JVM running for 3.056. That means your program is alive again. Just open your browser and refresh it. It will show you the change message, or you can open a new browser itself. Just close it and open the file :8080, press enter. So it will show you whatever the file you have, whatever application you're running. Just wait for some second. It will take some time to come the output, and it will show you if the port. Sometimes what happens, the port is busy. The 8080 port that you are using, sometimes it gets busy, and that's why it doesn't change automatically. But if you wait for some time, it will show you the message. So once it comes, let us observe what we are having here, how we can export the project or import the project from a local file system to your Eclipse IDE. Now, here as I have mentioned that I have created a local project into my local file system. Then I have run the command which I have mentioned here, like npm spring boot run. It will make the project ready. It will make everything ready for you. Now once that is ready, you can just import this from file, not file, you can just right click here, then there is a command import, click on existing Maven project, then click on next. It will show you the project directory. I have it here in source Spring Boot. That's why it's already coming as a default. You can select the location where you have created your Spring Boot project local and just import it. It will run automatically. So that's the way you can create it, either by clicking here, then clicking a new project, a Maven project. More specifically, this is a Maven project, and you can proceed or you can import it from the local file system. So once that is ready, that particular thing is running, just let me close this thing, come out for some time. It's not running, and we need to check if we have made some changes. See, it has come up. Welcome to Aeronix, learn advanced Spring Boot. So that's what we have changed into the IDE, and it's reflected on the browser also. So that's the way how we can generate the file. Now let's see how we can create the jar executable jar files. There are commands for that. You can just create a Maven package. You put this particular command here. Just let me terminate the session. Let me clear it. Let me put this command. It will create the package for me. So once the package is ready, you have another command which is known as this particular thing. It will create the jar file, executable jar file, and you can run it. That's package is ready. So once the package is ready, you can just put this particular command, create an executable jar file. Just hit here, run it. It will create a file, jar file, as I mentioned. It's already there. So to check what is there inside it, you can run it. Now, if you want to run this particular jar file instead of running the application, you have this particular command which you can use to run the executable jar file and test whether it's working fine or not. Paste it, run it. Wait for some time. This jar is now executable. It can be deployed anywhere into your application server, into your web server, wherever you want. So just wait for some time. It will show you the message that the file is deployed successfully, and you can run your application. Now you can check again the same message. Started example 16.78. Now this particular we are running the jar file. You open this particular browser. You can open a new browser as well. Type the same thing. It will come to the message. So that means you can either deploy it as a jar file. You can either deploy it as a standalone application. Now there is one more point. Let's close this thing. Can I run it from the IDE itself? Yes. Just click on this particular. Click on Run Java application. As I had mentioned that a Spring Boot application can also be run as a standalone application. You can directly run it from your IDE itself. See, it sends the same message what we have seen in the example command line prompt, and it started the application. You can have the same message, just refresh it, you'll have it. But once you run it, just remember, if you are trying to make any changes, terminate this session by clicking this terminate button. It releases the code. Otherwise, it will give some error once you make some changes here and then run it once again. It will show you the message that particular port is already held by some application and you cannot run it again. That's a tricky point. You need to terminate the server so that it releases the port 8080. Then you do make changes. You do whatever is done there, and you can make the things run once again. So that's it about the simple Spring Boot application. Hope you have enjoyed it. Now play with it. Try to implement some additional features. Hope it will help you build faster applications. Thank you so much. Happy learning Spring Boot.